The self-improvement industry has transformed from books, courses and webinars. Now entrepreneurs are creating something new, something that exerts influence into the digital world. They are gathering their forces to build exclusive communities. It's about access to elite communities where success is shared currency. But why do these networks grow? How do they grow? And in this video, I'm breaking down the Cartel Funnel, a system I developed to simplify how these elite networks can operate and expand more efficiently on the internet. You'll learn how to use this strategy yourself to build a self-sustaining funnel ecosystem that drives exponential growth for your community. But what do I mean by success is shared currency? Why is this a fundamental aspect of raising the perceived value of a community? And it all starts with your ideal customer profile. How do they perceive value? Because value is extremely subjective. People often judge the utility of a service or a product from their current standing reference point rather than the absolute utility of a product. And this means that how someone views your product is dependent on their current situational need and desire. And why is this important? Because this desire directly affects your entire funnel strategy from the top to the bottom of the funnel. Because it's not about creating a new need and a new desire for your community, especially when you want high quality leads. It's about attracting the individual who is already seeking these values and these qualities that your community offers. Someone who already feels lost, with you being that helping hand that reaches out while they're stuck in this ocean of information. And this is what these communities do. They create this desirability. And this is crucial because the desire and the need for growth drives human behavior. The fact that people are always actively seeking to grow and improve. And this is the essence of these communities. Like-minded individuals who seek growth through networking with people with similar drive to succeed. And therefore, as you increase the perceived value of your community, you increase the chance someone takes interest. But how do you transform interest into action? How do you link perceived value to a solid conversion? And here is a solid equation to help you visualize your perceived value and how to create it. But some key points to consider when building your community and increasing your value is that when you look at effort, the automatic response is negative. Time, stress, sacrifice, friction to make a decision, which is usually thought to be bad. But if you want high quality and like-minded individuals to join a community, aren't these communities based on hard qualification, on exclusivity, the fact not everyone can join, and this raises your lead quality? Don't forget that. However, at the same time, value is relative to cost. Can you angle your community and what it offers in order to decrease these costs, to increase your perceived value, for example? And then there is delay. And we will go into waiting lists and exclusivity in a second. Delay is not a guaranteed enemy. You can use it as your strength as a form of nurturing, because not everyone will be fit for the community at that particular moment. So your job is to show these individuals you see the potential in them by nurturing through challenges, for example, and showing how they can better themselves to qualify in the future. And as a result, your future search efforts will also be decreased, saving you time if you manage the leads correctly. And with this in mind, your funnel strategy needs to grasp this idea. For the audience to act, to take interest and take action to enter the loop of your community, that decision to act in a particular way is influenced by the anticipated rewards and the belief that the behavior will lead to a desirable result. Because what is the main objective of these communities? To create exclusive networks that amplify value through shared experiences, expertise, deep networks, connections, and that drive collective growth whilst positioning the members as a part of an aspirational lifestyle. And simply put it, for your target audience to act, they need to believe they will achieve all this and more because of their membership in your community. So now that you understand how your target profile perceives value, now you need to reflect this in your content and nurturing mediums, how their belief in you will lead to these desirable results and how the decision to act will lead to the anticipated rewards your community promises. And as a tip, you need to cover the following 3 important criteria. Remember, people need to believe in the result you are promising, and only this way they will enter your funnel and become members. So the 3 criteria is that there is a positive correlation between the efforts and the performance, such as that one increases and so does the other, and then that the better performance will result in a desirable reward, and the rewards will be valuable and satisfy the important needs of that customer, and or that the desire to satisfy the need is strong enough to make the efforts worthwhile, because people are motivated to engage in certain behaviors because of their expected outcomes, and thus that value associated with the said outcome are the discerning factors for choosing one behaviour over another. And now your job is to reflect this with the main weapon of your community and brand, which is your content and its members. And the value of your strategy lies in your ability to focus on the transformation you promise, because it's not just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the kind of person they dream to be with the help of your community to achieve their goals. So what are some underlying reasons someone may join the community? What are some starting points to focus your efforts on when attracting an audience? And this is where you go back to the fact that success is a shared currency, because the essence of the group is about having individuals that have specialised knowledge. People crave growth and expertise. And here's the thing, these communities don't rely on quick transactional sales, and what sets them apart is how they value each member, not just for their ability to pay, but for what they bring to the table, because each member's expertise, unique perspective and audience contributes to the collective power of the brand. Because it's not about knowing everything as an individual, it's about leveraging specialized knowledge. And these communities thrive because they bring together leaders from different industries, with each being a master in their craft, and they organize knowledge, focus it with intent and use it to create massive impact. Think of it like this, with this good old analogy. Practicing 10,000 kicks is impressive, but practicing one kick 10,000 times, that's completely different. That is the real power. And these communities allow you to focus on perfecting your craft while giving you access to a network of experts who have mastered theirs. And then you have people who chase purpose and mission, because people are drawn to communities with a clear mission that resonates with their values. A strong community isn't just about individual gains, it's about contributing to a mission larger than oneself. And it's this shared purpose that binds members and drives collective action. And alongside this, it's the belonging, because these communities create a sense of identity and shared purpose, offering their members a tribe where they feel understood, valued and connected to like-minded individuals. And with these connections, you have status and exclusivity, because exclusivity signals value, and by limiting access through waitlists, premium pricing, selective criteria, these communities create a sense of status and prestige, where members feel like they're part of something elite and rare, elevating their self-worth. And with this self-worth comes this aspirational identity, where these communities focus on selling a lifestyle, a way of inducing cognitive dissonance, showing that there is this other side of life where you can be around people alike, where members are drawn to the idea of aligning with higher performing, successful individuals, which reinforces their desire to improve themselves and become the best version who they aspire to be, where a membership isn't just about access, it's about signaling to the world, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. And then you have the reciprocity and contribution, where the opportunity to contribute and collaborate within a group fosters this sense of reciprocity, where members gain a satisfaction from their sharing of their expertise whilst benefiting from the collective wisdom of others. And the main mechanism that drives traffic to this funnel is the fear of missing out, the fact that time is running out, the fact that there is no time to waste. Things are only going to get worse and more expensive if you don't join this community. And this exclusive network is that helping hand that will lift you out of this water, and this drives this urgency and willingness to join, ensuring members feel like they're part of something irreplaceable. And whilst they're in there, people also want to join because they seek the support and accountability, because high achieving environments offer support systems where members are held accountable for their actions and goals, which boosts motivation, productivity and a sense of mutual responsibility for success. But that is just a few, as you can see. The list can go on forever and the video could be 4 hours long. But now you need to build this cartel funnel, and here we are. So you have to ask yourself, what drives the influence of these communities? How do they operate? So let's get building the cartel funnel from the top. What these communities do is they understand the value of each member. Like we've said, the goal is to build exclusivity, built by urgency to act and the scarcity of opportunities to join. But at the same time, and more importantly, it is about keeping qualifications tight from the get-go. It is to bring genuine experts of the game into your community by carefully reeling in and catching the big game rather than tossing a net and hoping for the best, because hope is not a strategy with these communities. And you might be thinking, why and how does this work? Well, you need to understand that each member raises the stock value of the community. Each of these macro and micro influencers that joins are required to have a unique skill or an asset to the game. And this is the heart of the community in terms of its marketing, where essentially the community grows itself, where each member is a valuable asset of the community and a promoter of it. It's about how will you benefit the community, how will you raise the stock price, because they'll be good without you. or will there. But the skill is not the only important asset of the members. Each member has their own audience, a distinct set of eyes in their niche that expands the community's reach organically, transcending niche barriers to look for that next high-quality member, where essentially they are the gatekeepers to the community, where they open the eyes to the community's possibilities to their audiences, essentially driving high-intent traffic to the community. And this is all a part of the self-fulfilling content ecosystem that drives traffic to the community and its funnel. Because the recruited members were recruited for a reason, remember. The goal isn't just to grow in numbers, but to elevate the quality and the influence of the community. They share the community's values, and so a percentage of their audience will too. And so the aim then is for the member to act as an entry point to this community when the time is right. Because simple mistiming can lead to a flow of low-quality leads and a clogged pipeline, which is the last thing you want with such an exclusive community. And as a result, each member and their content becomes the ultimate showcase of your community's system effectiveness. And this is why I like to call it the cartel funnel. And so the members tackle their audience's underlying desires, such as self-improvement, lack of connection to like-minded individuals, and access to exclusive knowledge. And then over time, there is an answer creeping, a community. The content is a connection point between their current position and their desire to join. And this desire only gets stronger with more consumed content, sprinkled in with this special something, with this mechanism that allows the member to do all these cool things. Again, that is the community. And this content ecosystem fuels this organic growth and builds social proof for the community because, as I said, remember, member-driven content becomes the ultimate showcase of the system's effectiveness. And this leads to a cycle of growth. However, remember that growth can go two ways, low quality and high quality leads. You want more of the latter. You don't want any time wasters. You want doers. You want the Michael Jordans, the number one picks. And this is where the funnel is crucial in separating high quality leads and people who are not ready to join. Because the last thing you want is your time to be wasted with meetings that lead to nowhere. And so, now that your community has eyeballs from different niches, there'll be an intense flow of cold traffic that is interested. And inevitably, there'll be some number one picks, but also these time wasters. And through these niches and the member collaborations and resultly, this creates high value content that reaches new audiences, creates new ideas, and brings more eyes on each member. And more eyes on a member means that eventually there'll be more eyes in the community. But more importantly, these high quality member generated content through collaborations demonstrate the value of each member, and it's about showing this wider audience that you want these types of individuals, raising that perception of quality of the community when the invitation is eventually provided. A kind of, you have to be on this level or you're not in. And then, like we mentioned, when the time is right, all it takes is a nudge in the right direction for the community. For example, every couple of posts, the member can link the community to their audiences to explore, but more importantly, the community always shares their members' content and vice versa. And this leads to a cycle of never-ending social proof that demonstrates competence and reach of the community, where psychologically, for the audience, you are nurturing and building and demonstrating the type of profile that you want and that can qualify, starting this journey off in their mind, challenging their current ways so that they take action to eventually become this valued member of your community. And this is simply done by demonstrating the current capabilities of your members and these lifestyle choices that they take. And this is the exact content that members and the community should create, lifestyle and achievement, because at the end of the day, each of these communities desire to be most exclusive and highly valuable networks, and therefore they need highly effective systems to generate, engage and qualify their leads. But what content does this exactly entail, and how does it grab attention? And so the most effective way is through short form content to grab attention and eventually directing this attention into long form that builds authority, credibility and trust. Because remember, I said there is a want and there is an underlying desire. The secret isn't attacking those desires, is where attention is captured and money is made. It's about inciting that spark of hope for the viewer, where you watch one reel and suddenly you're 50 pieces of content deep. It's about showing this life, showing this positive community of individuals pushing each other, striving for the better, whilst the world around is fighting and in all this conflict, opening the eyes of the viewer to the possibility of a brotherhood that is all about helping each other, opening up that deficit gap in someone's life by directing attention to it, because where we focus our attention is where our energy goes. So you must create content that challenges people's status quo, inducing some friction in their life, where cognitive dissonance is reached, where they start to create, where they start to question their environment. In all, remember that this content needs to grab attention, but also raise your perceived value. Because remember, we want quality. You need to post lifestyle content, showcasing exclusivity by demonstrating snippets of your unique masterclass meetings and their value, the aspirational living, showing off community events, and the trips that these people go on, something that directly challenges the current way of living, where the community can provide the solution to it, pulling leads into the middle of the funnel. It's all about this lifestyle marketing focused on aspirational living and not just transactional benefits. And whilst the lifestyle content helps to catch attention, your educational content is what builds the credibility. Your educational content helps people to take that first step and nurture individuals, guide them to what it takes to become a member, a clear roadmap, showcasing member-generated content like achievements to reinforce the idea that you need to be that guy, where the content becomes a qualifying tool within itself. And as a result, your short form content is a never-ending cycle and an entry point to your community and brand. And what happens is that begin to consume this content, and naturally the algorithm will push more of it. They'll begin to see more of your community and more of this inspirational and motivational content, and eventually they'll enter through the door, be that through a member or directly straight to the community. And from here, it's all about maintaining momentum of value and quality. But now that you have eyes on your community through your short form content, let's say, be that Reels on Instagram, TikToks, or even written popcorn content on X, whatever platform you find that is the most useful. Because remember, it's key to use various social media platforms, and they will vary depending on your ideal customer profile and where your audience spends the most time on, because you don't want to waste your energy where your audience does not exist. But remember, this will most likely be colder audiences, and all your social media platforms should form into a long form content platform like YouTube, let's say, because YouTube will then allow you to educate, nurture and guide your audience for a series of educational and value-driven content that paints exactly what it means to be part of your community. It's about signalling what you are about, what you stand for, the achievements, the social proof like member interviews, the exclusive opportunities that the community provides like trips and events, education videos that in essence handle objections and teach the ways of the community. And you want to plant these seeds of inspiration and nurture this VIP experience feeling where the individual has no choice but to work harder because it is exactly what they are looking for. And then from your long form, you can lead into a newsletter. And as you see the dotted lines, this is how you create and maintain the feeling of exclusivity and urgency. If you plugged your landing page or your newsletter all the time, then you will only clog up your pipeline with lower quality leads, because your wider social media platforms engage with a large percent of a colder audience. And so you should link it strategically, because remember, the landing page is the door to your community and your newsletter is the invitation to the party. And every person who visits the page is a knock on the door, and then you're left with constant knocking, which is just annoying. You want people who are invited, who deserve it, and therefore only sometimes plug in the landing page and your newsletter from these wider audiences, because you never know who you might get. It's about that scarcity packed with urgency, and your newsletter is that main mechanism of a formal invitation to your community door, because remember, we want quality and not quantity. But of course you can play around with the direction and intent of your nurturing mechanisms and the audience paths from what platforms to funnel the audience. It all depends on what type of numbers you want and the platforms you are using. But let's focus on the newsletter. Your newsletter alongside your YouTube is your main nurturing mechanism. It's where they have an opportunity to be invited to see inside of the community, to get that foot in the door of the community, a taste of what it's like behind the scenes content, live workshops that are relatable to the pain point of the lead, success stories, insider tips maybe and strategies, some Q&As, challenges. It's all about increasing that investment into the brand and into themselves. It's about showing them what you are about and what it takes to become part of this community. And these emails want to meet the lead where they are, understand their current situation, being level with their desire to join, cultivating that feeling that they are not far from it, keeping that spark of motivation alive by breaking down the principles of motivation we often talk about on this channel. But there's also this second route you can take alongside your newsletter. Your emails can invite individuals to a separate community, for example, host on Telegram, something more intimate and personal, an invitation to connect, a direct line of communication with the community. And here you can connect and qualify individuals on a much closer level. For example, setting challenges are a great way to do this because it increases their investment into the brand and shapes them to become a better individual and future member. People who don't participate, you simply kick. It's about showing them that this is real, and if you're not up for it right now, then go, because this is a qualifying tool at the end of the day, and we are focusing on bringing high quality leads. It's about who is real, and then these individuals get first dibs on the invites, and this saves you effort in the future because you don't have to scour the internet for new members, but you have already these highly qualified leads that are ready to join. More important is about creating this strategic and intentional friction in the customer journey, because not all friction is bad. If used correctly, it's an effective tool of reflection and action, where it's about having these potential members reflect and ponder if they have what it takes, and as a result this will self-qualify them. But stay tuned for a video in the future where I go into how to use strategic friction to increase your conversions in your funnel. And then all of this leads to a landing page, and I'll give you 3 scenarios that can happen here depending on your marketing strategy. So route 1 is that they enter a wait list. It's about creating the agency and desirability to act, because scarcity is fully locked in and spaces are going to free up soon. What you do now is announce that this wait list will get one opportunity, for example a qualification form, first come first serve, capacity based. There is a trick here, and it's where most communities and personal brands get it wrong. They don't use their wait lists as a brand strength, because remember, this urgency and scarcity has raised the emotional trigger to act again, and this has reminded the leads of their main pain point. And a pain point is at its highest during its identification, and time diminishes it. And here we have factored it again, where high emotionality is involved. And what many high value communities get wrong is that their wait lists are churn factories, because they fail to recreate this emotional trigger and simply leave their leads in this list with no meaningful engagement to raise interest and emotions, and the interests just disappear. And this is of utmost importance, whereby not utilising this wait list to further nurture and pre-qualify the leads in order to sieve through these individuals, the brands are wasting their future time and energy playing around with leads that have lost interest. So the secret lies in engaging this wait list. It's about increasing their motivation to be better, getting them psychologically closer to the goal, but also getting them closer to the action you want the lead to take, because people increase their efforts as they get closer to achieving their goal. And this is called the goal gradient effect. But remember, just because someone is not qualified does not mean they are completely disqualified. It's about keeping that momentum of interest going, adding to a nurturing mechanism that keeps them in the loop of your community and brand, keeping that spark ignited for future engagement, like previously mentioned, so you don't waste time and effort scouring the internet for new members. And then you have the second route, where you are sending them straight into a qualification form that is essentially a short discovery form to gauge where the lead is standing in their business, for example, what they are looking for, and why they think they are the perfect candidate. And from there you can qualify or disqualify depending on what you look for. And if they don't qualify, you engage them with an email that meets them where they are, understands their desire to join, and simply just says that the timing is not right for them, because you want this email to guide them and show them where they can improve and what it actually takes to be a member, by encouraging them, where you can segment them to a new waiting list where in the future they'll be contacted first when spaces open up, for example. And this is an easy way of keeping their interests high and keeping that spark of motivation burning, creating that illusion of priority. And it's all about helping that individual realise their gaps, to have them motivated to act to become better, and again increasing their efforts because they were close to their goal. However, an important point, remember this list has to be engaged at all times, like the previous one. It's about creating intentional friction to separate the leads who are ready to act from the ones who are not, consistently challenging these nearly qualified leads you have scouted. And then this waitlist can be a segmented letter or a Telegram community, because the last thing you want is for them to give up, and at the end of the day it is the survival of the fittest. But let's say they've qualified. There's 2 stages. Shorter discovery call, where you essentially see them face to face, you see how they are, and you basically do a vibe check of the individual, seeing if they have what it takes by developing on from these questions in the qualification form. And if they don't qualify, same procedure as before applies. But if they do qualify, you go into this further and final call that basically validates their fit, confirming that the individual aligns with the community's goals, values and standards, clarifies the expectations, where you ensure they fully understand the benefits, responsibilities and what it means to be part of this community. And then you want to clarify and secure commitment, where you create an emotional and logical buy-in from the individual to ensure that they are ready to contribute and raise the stock price of the community. And last but not least, there's the last route, the snooze and you lose approach that I like to call, that leverages commitment and emotional investment to ensure that the members are highly motivated to contribute meaningfully to the community. Why am I calling it snooze you lose? Because it's a very harsh approach, and this approach isn't for everyone, and that's the point. By setting the bar high and enforcing strict participation rules, the community remains exclusive, focused and filled with individuals who genuinely want to succeed, because the high price sets the tone. It's not just about a financial barrier, but a signal of exclusivity and the high value of the community. When the member pays a premium, they feel stronger, they need to justify their investment by engaging and contributing. It's about creating that sense of personal responsibility, because now member feels compelled to apply themselves to the community because of their investment. That represents more than just a transaction, but a commitment to their own growth and to the groups, where the members are more aware from the outset that they must pull their own weight. And once inside, members are met with qualification challenges to keep them actively engaged, and these challenges serve two purposes: to motivate, to contribute, where they are required to bring something valuable to the table, whether it's unique knowledge, connections, active participation. And then there's accountability, where those who fail to meet the standards risk of being removed from the community. And this then creates this high performance environment where only the most dedicated individuals thrive. And then the message is clear: if you're not actively contributing, you're taking away from the community's value, and if you don't rise to this challenge, you will lose your place. And this harsher approach weeds out those who are complacent or unwilling to engage, leaving behind a group of highly motivated individuals who elevate the community as a whole. But you have to be transparent about this, so that everyone who enters are ready to take on the challenge. And as a result, you have a new member that grows the community's stock value, amplifying the community's collective strength. But that's one format of the cartel funnel. There are hundreds of different ways to explore depending on your niche. And if you want to be more strict, more lenient, and if you want to dive deeper, increase the conversions of your funnel, please check out the rest of my channel. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.